Christine forced herself into my life. She basically just insisted that we be married. I don't care that she's leaving. It hurt initially, but I'm fine. It's just stop trash talking me to my children.
Kody had to marry Christine, but somehow they still ended up with a whole bunch of kids together. Classic, right? It's honestly baffling. But wait, it gets better. He's now airing their dirty laundry on national TV for all their kids to see, and to top it off, he's blaming Christine for talking about it with her adult children, who, by the way, have already watched him publicly trash her on the show. You can't make this stuff up. Kody's master plan, so painfully obvious. He's trying to justify treating her like crap throughout their entire marriage while playing the martyr. Seriously, Kody? Just stop. Oh, and let's not forget why he married her in the first place, because of her dad. Nothing says true love like using a marriage to secure a family connection. Sure, Kody shouldn't have opened his mouth about any of this after agreeing to marry Christine, but let's not pretend Christine didn't know exactly what she was signing up for. She spent years waiting for him to marry someone else after Meri, just so she could swoop in as the third wife. Heck, she even admits that Kody was totally checked out at their wedding. And let's not ignore the charming setting of the AUB, an idyllic patriarchal cult where men are basically required to kiss up to the higher-ups. Christine's an all-red, which put her family in charge back then. So yeah, I'm not exactly convinced Kody had much of a say when Christine decided she wanted him. They were all just kids trapped in a controlling religious group, and let's be real, nobody had a choice in any of it. We've got so much to dive into today, so let's not waste any time. Let's jump straight into it. Hey everyone, what's up? It's Elena here, and welcome back to my channel Reality Nexus X. I'm rewatching Season 17, Episode 1, and wow, no wonder there's so much resentment about the way Kody parents Ari and Saul. Remember when Christine was pregnant and had to work at night? She had to leave, and guess who was responsible for tucking the kids in? That's right, 10-year-old Aspin. She was basically the stand-in mom while Kody, well, couldn't be bothered. Christine asked him for help, and his response, "I can't, I'm at other houses." All of them were in the same house, by the way. All he had to do was leave his apartment, ACO whatever corner he was hiding in, and actually parent. But no, he left his 10-year-old daughter to do it. That's insane. And it doesn't end there. Christine and Janelle have both said how Kody would rush out in the morning or late at night to go straight to Robyn's, so he could send Ari and Saul off to school. Let me get this straight. He could drive 15-30 minutes each day to drop those kids off, but walking down a flight of stairs to tuck his own kids in while Christine was out working. Too much to ask. I can't stand this guy. He was so busy that he couldn't even manage the basic parenting task of putting his own kids to bed while his wife was working nights. But don't worry, he had plenty of time to court another woman 5+ hours away and play dad to her kids. Classic Kody. And let's talk about how he normalized never lifting a finger. He had Logan getting Janelle's kids ready in the morning while he took his sweet time getting ready for work. If I remember correctly, he was showering at Meri's and then casually swinging by Christine's for breakfast. But heaven forbid he stopped by Janelle's to help with breakfast for his own kids. Nope, not his problem. Then, seasons later, this guy says on camera that he tries really hard not to get involved in disciplining his kids. Why? Because he doesn't want to be the heavy since he's not around that often. Are you kidding me? He had the original 3 wives convinced it was unreasonable to expect him to do more than play the fun uncle role. That's right, Kody, the guy who never shows up, suddenly can't handle being the actual parent. Classic deflection. But wait, it gets better. When Christine asked him to step up and actually parent, he turned around and shamed her for being selfish and unreasonable for wanting him to put his own kids to bed on another mom's night. Like, she was the bad guy for asking for basic help. How does he get away with making her feel like she's the problem here? Honestly, Kody reminds me of that friend who calls right as you're about to go to bed, Or when the dog decides it needs to go out at 3 a.m. You're tired, not in the mood, and you just want to ignore it. But when it's your kids, or your dog, you just do it. It's your job as a parent to take care of their needs. You don't outsource that to someone else, especially not to a 10-year-old. You ever wonder if Meri really likes Robyn as much as she pretends to? Or is she just holding on to that relationship like it's a lifeline to stay on Kody's good side? Because honestly, that seems more likely. I'm starting to think Meri saw the writing on the wall when Christine's resentment of Robyn made Kody basically cut her off. So what did Meri do? She threw herself into the Robyn fan club, hoping it would make her Kody's favorite again. We all know Kody's decisions and relationships basically revolve around whatever Robyn wants, feels, or thinks. If you don't accept that, you're out, no questions asked. And honestly, after that whole catfish debacle, Meri not only kissed Kody's ass, but she also made sure to lick Robyn's boots too. It was like, look, Kody, I'm still here. I'm still in your good graces. Then this last season, oh, it was crystal clear. Robyn basically sat Meri down and told her to hold on, while Kody's interviews were basically him confessing that he wanted absolutely nothing to do with her. Talk about a slap in the face. Meri has to be slowly starting to see that Robyn's using her for her own gain, and Kody's already written her off. But it gets better. Robyn didn't just use Meri for emotional support, she was using her for money and to stay embedded in the family. Kody had already ditched Meri long before, and Robyn was just keeping her around for the perks. Classic. Let's not forget the big picture here. Kody and Robyn were clearly playing Meri from the start. You think she fell for Robyn's BFF against J and C act? Please. She was desperate for someone on her side, for any scrap of hope that she might still have a chance with Kody. But we all know that was just a load of crap. The real deal was simple. Align yourself with the woman who controls Kody, in the hopes that maybe, just maybe, Meri would get some of those sweet favors back. Unfortunately for her, Kody and Robyn had a master plan all along. Get Meri to let go of her legal status so Robyn could be the last wife standing, with all the money, assets, and protections. Talk about a long con. Why is Robyn so indifferent about Janelle leaving? Let's not forget how long Robyn went on, and on about Christine needing to work things out with Kody. What? A couple of seasons at least. And don't even get me started on how she's practically begged Meri to stick it out. Her delusional speeches about "I know there's still hope" have been the soundtrack of our lives for years. But Janelle leaving, crickets. No mention of wanting her and Kody to fix things. Why? Because Robyn's not bothered. Honestly, it seems like Robyn feels threatened by Janelle and by her kids. Janelle's a problem for her because she and Kody still share the benefits. And let's face it, the kids see right through Robyn's act. The fact that Robyn's scared of Janelle is so obvious, it's almost laughable. Let's be real, Janelle isn't a financial genius, but she definitely knows the family's money situation. She knows what's coming in, what's going out. She's never asked for more than she's owed, and honestly, she's been incredibly patient with everyone's shortcomings, whether it's financial or otherwise. But the truth is, Janelle could call Robyn out on everything with receipts in hand, and Robyn knows she can't argue with facts. Robyn's tears might work on some people for a little while, but they've lost their power. It's only a matter of time before the act is up. Let's talk about the real reason Robyn's intimidated by Janelle. The truth is, they never clicked because Janelle didn't fall for Robyn's manipulations. And Robyn hates Janelle's boys because they're the ones who called her out on her fake persona. She tolerates Logan, but that's only because he's Kody's golden child. Logan stays out of the drama, so he's pretty much irrelevant in Robyn's eyes. Meanwhile, Maddie's far away and has basically given up on her dad too. Sure, Kody probably hates losing his favorite daughter and son-in-law, Caleb, but hey, at least he's still got Tony, right? But really, Robyn's threatened by Janel, especially since Janel has 4 sons, including the oldest one, who's basically the head of the family now. The boys, especially Hunter and Garrison, carry weight with men like Kody. They're tough, rowdy, athletic, the kind of boys Kody's always doted on. Robyn can't compete with that. She's been working hard to wedge herself between Kody and Janel's boys, because the more she can distance them, the less they have to do with Kody. And if Janel leaves, the divide's only going to get worse. Robyn's really playing a long game, but it's not going to end well. Kody's reasoning for not helping out with Christine's kids is something to behold. He claims, in the most Kody way possible, that a bad sister wife takes her kids away from their husband. And, of course, Christine is the one guilty of this heinous crime. Never mind that his own behavior is what pushed her to that point. Then we get Robyn's ex-husband chiming in. Oh, the drama never ends. He casually mentions that the reason he always helped Saul and Ari get ready for school is because he liked doing it. Not because it was part of his responsibilities, or because he had any obligation to do it as their stepdad, but because he liked it. Well, there you have it, folks. He does whatever he feels like doing, regardless of what's actually expected of him. Does he even hear himself? Because, in his rambling, Kody just admitted to having favorite kids, just like he has a favorite wife, who, coincidentally, is also the mother of his favorite children. He straight up admits that he'll leave his other kids to fend for themselves in the mornings, while he makes sure his chosen ones get to school. Must be nice to pick and choose which kids are worthy of your attention. And the kicker? He basically admits he messed up the first time around, and now he gets a second chance with a new batch of kids. Meanwhile, his first group is still around, dealing with the fallout of his abandonment. And yet, he has the audacity to complain when one of his kids leaves with Christine to live in Utah. Excuse me, Kody, you abandoned them first. But wait, Robyn's in on it too. She knew exactly what was going on, but never had the decency to discuss it with her sister wives. She knew it would cause problems, but somehow doesn't understand Christine's deal breakers. Well, surprise, surprise. The two of them are a match made in delusional heaven. And here's another kicker. Truly is just 1 year older than Solomon. So why didn't Kody take her to school? Oh right, because he has favorites. It's as clear as day. He's been caught red-handed, and yet somehow he continues to play the victim. Then there's his constant whining about Christine taking the kids away from him. Please. He's just projecting. Christine's kids are adults. What's she supposed to do? Keep them all locked in her basement, forcing them to worship daddy. Oh wait, that's what Robyn does with hers. And even when Truly and Savannah were still living there, Kody couldn't be bothered to pick up the phone or make any effort to spend time with them. But sure, let's keep blaming everyone else for his own lazy, selfish behavior. It's honestly baffling how he continues to get away with it all. A piece of work, that one. Was anyone else cringing when Kody started whining about Janel, picking her kids over him? I mean, seriously. It almost sounded like he was jealous, implying that she only kept them around because they were men who gave her attention he clearly wasn't bothering to give her. I just don't get this mentality of once they turn 18, they're out of here. You can't go on and on about how family is everything, and then in the same breath act like your kids are suddenly useless when they're adults and need to fend for themselves. Maybe it's a polygamy thing. Since in those circles, once they hit that age, they're supposedly ready to have their own families. But what really hit a nerve was when Kody started calling them her boys. Seriously, they're their boys. They're both parents, and decisions about the kids should be about what's best for all their children, not just one. And I've noticed this trend in fundamentalist circles too. Just dump the boys the second they legally can. It's honestly gross. The whole thing just rubbed me the wrong way. Kody has no problem picking Robyn's kids over the rest of the family, But then Robyn's overhears saying her son can't be away from Kody for too long. What about the other kids? They matter, too, right? Kody even refers to their granddaughter as her grandchild. What happened to their grandchild? Janelle and her kids are a family unit. Christine and her kids are a family unit. Kody's been a marginal presence at best, and he expects everyone to follow his ridiculous, self-serving rules. Rules he doesn't even follow himself. He graces them with his presence maybe twice a week for a couple of hours, and that's supposed to be enough. Honestly, I'm just glad the kids are adults now and actually have a voice. Janelle and Christine both stand by their kids, but Robyn, she gets a free pass to stand by hers, and everyone else gets called out. It's clear Kody would be a lousy husband to one wife, let alone 3. He wants everything handed to him on a silver platter without making any effort. Meri, I can almost hear her asking herself, why did I introduce Robyn to Kody again? Because it sure seems like that decision did not age well. It's like that classic situation where you introduce your best friend to a new friend, thinking it'll be a fun trio, and next thing you know, they're hanging out without you, like, a lot. And then they both drop you like a hot potato. Not only that, but they start talking behind your back, and oh, don't forget the charming insults to your face. Yeah, that's gotta sting. Meri may not be everyone's favorite wife, but she's certainly been through the ringer here, all because of this mess. And then there's the whole divorce regret thing. Honestly, it sounds like Janelle had the whole situation figured out from the get-go. Meri divorcing Kody was just waiting to happen. But the worst part? Robyn. Oh, Robyn. When Meri told her the divorce was finalized, you'd think the woman could show a little empathy. But nope, she starts planning her own wedding to Kody. That's some next-level classlessness right there. Completely tactless, almost to the point where it feels like a personal attack. Now, I have this sneaky suspicion that Meri didn't actually introduce them like the story we've been told. I'm not buying it. Kody and Robyn. I have a strong feeling they'd already crossed paths before that little party they keep talking about. Seriously, why would Robyn make a 5-hour drive for a small Mormon gathering? Doesn't add up. I think Kody, being the master of spin that he is, wanted Meri to believe she was the reason for their meeting, just to make her feel better. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if Kody and Robyn had already been scheming long before Meri even knew what hit her. And of course, Meri was with Kody when he met Robyn. No surprise there, because it was clear as day that Kody was into Robyn from the get-go. Meri, ever the eager-to-please wife, encouraged Kody to pursue it, probably thinking it'd make her look like the supportive one. She even says in her book that the secret bond formed from their discussions about courting Robyn made her feel closer to Kody. But once Robyn actually entered the picture as the main attraction, well, guess what? Meri got left in the dust and ended up depressed, because it turns out you can't win Kody's approval when you're no longer part of the picture. Classic. So, I decided to finally dive deep into this family drama, yes, finally watching the show all the way through, instead of just the random clips and half-watched episodes from when it aired. And here I am, stuck in Season 7, Episode 8, where the family sits outside to watch some home video of them, talking about who's who and when each wife entered the picture. I mean, who doesn't love a good recap of the past few years, right? Totally not a weird choice for an episode at all. But as if that wasn't enough, we get a gem of a moment near the end. The adults are chatting about working on their relationships, just casually fixing things, and Meri and Christine throw out the idea of going on a cruise once they've sorted it all out. Cute, right? That is until Kody, in his ever-so-subtle way, comments, the real cruise should be when you and Janelle can work on your relationship. Cue the awkward silence, and Meri, ever the trooper, laughs and says, I'm down. But then there's Janelle. Oh boy. She doesn't laugh. Instead, she pulls a face that could melt ice. Now, there's been talk about their strained relationship over the years, but it's always in passing. They don't really joke around together, but also haven't had any knockdown, drag-out fights, at least not on camera. So, what's the deal with these two? What happened between them? Did all the drama just evaporate, or is there some serious tension we're not seeing? Let's take a stroll down memory lane, shall we? Spoiler alert, it's not a love story. Meri, in the early days, was about as pleasant as a cactus in a petting zoo. She was downright malicious toward Janel. I mean, she made it her personal mission to parade her affection for Kody in front of Janel, say nasty things, and basically made it impossible for Janel to feel like she had a real home. In Janel's book, she mentioned having to limit herself to just her bedroom, and spent a lot of time at Wynn's ranch just to escape Meri's vibe. Kody was traveling a lot, and Meri, in a truly thoughtful move, would take time off work to accompany him on these trips. The kicker? She would spend Janel's money, and Janel eventually had to open her own bank account just to survive. How's that for sister-wife solidarity? So, yeah, Meri wasn't exactly thrilled about sharing Kody. Instead of taking it out on Kody, the source of her problem, if you ask me, she decided to unleash her frustration on Janel. Real mature, right? And as if things weren't already tangled enough, Janel, before all this, had been married to Meri's brother. But, surprise, surprise, that marriage lasted less than a year. So, when Janel and Kody get together, they have the brilliant idea to get married on Meri's birthday. Fortunately, Kody's mom stepped in like the voice of reason and said, maybe not the best idea for sister-wife harmony. So they tied the knot the very next day instead. As for the early tension, it was all about Meri's obsessive cleanliness versus Janel's laid-back attitude. Because when you throw your ex-sister-in-law into the mix and call her your sister-wife, well, it's bound to stir up some tension, right? But hey, that's just the kind of family dynamic that makes great TV. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and much love to you all.